Adam Chase, welcome back to Chad TV.
I'm back here 4 weeks in a row.
4 weeks. All right, cool. All right, man. So, give us a recap of what happened this past week for you.
Huge week, and I could be more specific this week because I could tell you two events that just happened yesterday. So one, my girlfriend graduated college. Good for her. I'm really proud of her. She's been really busting ass, doing a lot of work. That's cool. So that was nice to see. I'm glad to be there with her, spend time with her family. And then I was immediately before that, there was the annual jiu-jitsu promotional. I got a stripe on my blue belt. I got one fucking stripe. That little piece of tape represents a year of hard work and effort, which is fantastic. I'm extremely thrilled. And earn your stripes, literal definition. You get to see it when you actually fucking get them, you know?
Oh, yeah. Anything else?
I mean, that was just yesterday. So, like, fuck, who knows what else happened the rest of the week that I don't remember. Honestly, I say this every week, but just more and more clarity on the outreach that actually matters in business and not doing a lot of shit that is either an experiment or just flat out isn't working. So the things that I am spending my time on, pretty high ROI. So I'm feeling pretty fucking good.
Nice. What do you want to have happen this week if everything goes the way that you want it to?
I want Peter to come to jiu-jitsu with me because he said he would. He's here, a guest in our studio. I want to sign some fucking clients. I want some money coming in. You're hitting the camera. You're bumping it. I want to grow this agency, and not because I want more money. I do want money, but I want to be the fucking guy who is running a successful agency. Like, having that skill set is important to me. And I talked about this last week. Being the fucking guy capable of doing it is more important than having the accolades. Because it's like, if you gave me a magic lamp from a fucking genie and I could just get whatever I want, and it was one of two things. He said, well, I'll either give you all the things you want, all the resorts, all the rewards, $1 million, nice car, successful life, whatever, or you can get all that still, but you're going to have to go through these things, but I'll guarantee that if you do the work, you'll get it. I would choose the fucking work because I would feel so empty and miserable if I just got the result, but I didn't actually earn it on my own. So it's like, one thing that was funny, for jiu-jitsu promotions, one of my trainers who'd been there 10 fucking years, guy's a menace, right? We were making jokes about promotion. He's got 2 black belts, judo, jiu-jitsu. And somebody said, oh man, like, they were making a joke. Like, he's like, oh, I'll take your white belt back. He's like, I'd love to go back. And the guy was like, oh dude, he's like, I'd take your black belt. And he goes, yeah, but then you have to defend it. And then I really thought about that. Like, man, you give that black belt to a white belt and you put him in a black belt tournament, he's getting fucked. No chance he's winning. So it's like, you don't want the belt. You just want to be the guy who earned it. So you want the skill set. End of rant.
I think that's a really good point. I agree with that 100,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You have to defend. You have to fucking defend it.
Yeah, that's a good anecdote, though.
Yeah.
All right, cool. What do you feel like? What do you feel like you need to work on still? Like, what's the number one thing that you feel like, hey, I gotta put some more attention to this in my life right now?
Okay, being more disciplined to say no to things that I want to do that are fun or that are even good for me. So actually, again, not to just talk about jiu-jitsu, I stopped going to night classes, which is hard for me because it's so fun and I love doing it. I took a week off, not for an injury, but because I need to work. So being more disciplined. I had a couple of friends get married recently, and I'm starting to imagine, like, damn, if I had a family and more responsibilities, how would I spend my time? And I started acting as if, like DeLuca talks about, and I'm like, yeah, I would waste a lot less time. I would be a little bit more disciplined. I'd have a little bit less fun. I would work, and then instead of going out after, I'd be like, all right, well, I got to go to bed, get up again. So that's the first thing. Could you repeat the question then so I could get on I had something else, but...
What do you feel like you need to give more attention to in your life right now?
That and speaking on camera, honestly, it's what we're doing here. saying like, I think I'm good at not doing that. Pretty close. Depends. What was the other thing about being on camera? I don't know. Just the whole thing about it. Just knowing what to say, being comfortable. Just, I can't be that specific right now. I'll just fucking ramble on. But you get the point.
Yeah. Okay, cool. You're wearing your watch in your right hand.
Okay.
Most people wear their watch in their left hand. I know why. I know what's going on, but enlighten everybody.
All right. I'm gonna preface this by saying, if you get life opinions and you download them from somebody else and you just, this guy said that, so I'm doing it. You're an NPC, soulless vessel. You have nothing behind. Your eyes are empty. You have nothing in there. Your soul's left you. They don't want to be around you. And who knows what the fuck is inside of you, actually, like some sort of spiritual parasite controlling your thoughts. So that being said, I'm going to say completely, I'm going to own it. Some guy on Twitter said I should wear my fucking watch on my right wrist, not my left, because you take in energy from the left side of your body. And I trust this guy because I followed his advice for 8 years. So it's one of like 4 people that I actually trust on the internet. I met him. I did consults with him.
Shout him out.
Dahoudi Maatra. Shout out to Dahoudi. He's a well-studied individual who inspires me to come to my own conclusions. He does not tell people what to do or how to think, which is one of the reasons why I've trusted him. But I got to meet him. I hired him for some consults a few years ago, and he really helped when I was still becoming a man and not having my own opinions. He really helped me get a grip on like how to come to my own conclusions on things. So I've always enjoyed reading his tweets and his thoughts. He's very, very spiritual. He's a spiritual teacher. And so I kind of just trusted him on this one, but you shouldn't fucking do that because that's how you become an NPC.
What is it about the wrist?
He just said that your left side of your energy is how your left side of your body is how you take in energy, and specifically through the hand. So if you're entering into a room, you don't want to block that. And I don't understand the metaphysics of why this would block that, but I just kind of took his word on it.
There's also a very famous person that we all know that wears the watch in the right hand. If you want to...
Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
He does. Well, that's for boxing, though.
We thought it was for boxing. We don't know, though.
He said, well, yeah, maybe he is. He's very an esoteric individual. He's very mysterious. But he always stands like this, which is actually looks cool in pictures. This looks like you look like a dork if you do this. But this makes you look pretty cool, but it's also because you could quickly get into combat if you need to, which I like.
You guys
anyway,
gotta pay attention more to see what they're doing,
That's right. That's right.
All right, Peter has questions for you.
Peter Butera, guest interview. Hi, Adam.
Peter, what's up, man?
I've got one question for you today. It's something that you've mentioned a couple times throughout the interview, and you and Mr. Anthony DeLuca also talk about a lot. I would like your theory in life about money and the impact or the role that it should play in that you think it should play in your life, and the role that you want it to play in your life.
Okay, all right. This is very easy. People overcomplicate this one. Money is like oxygen and food. You need it to survive in the Western world. And as a complete, well-rounded individual, you should have a grip on it. You shouldn't have fucking problems with it. You shouldn't have shortages of it. You shouldn't have, spending problems. You shouldn't have a bad relationship with it. You shouldn't be afraid of it. You shouldn't be ignorant of it. You should be a pretty well adept master of it. Almost like if you're a farmer, you should know how to brand a steed. You should know how to fucking corral chickens. You should know how to be in charge of your dogs. So like it's one of the skill sets that's extremely important. And if you incarnate it in the West especially, and you're in a meat suit in the fucking West, in a capitalist society, and you're opting out of that, it's fucking retarded. And so you should just be very well versed with it. And I think it could go the other way. It's more rare, but some people get very greedy, and then they do get money, and they have maybe a not a shortage of it, which is what most people have, but they start to do they sell their soul for money, like literally and just metaphorically. They let it dominate their life still, and they just hoard it and hoard it and hoard it. And that's deplorable behavior. And I think that's a sin. That's gluttony. That's one of the 7 deadly sins. So, yeah. But the lack of money and choosing to be ignorant to money will probably lead to 6 out of the other 7 deadly sins anyway. So you just need to have a grip on it. That's the best way I could put it.
I like the comparison to food. I've never heard that before. Interesting.
I think that you hit the nail on the head. We're big. Like, if you're a young white dude in America, like, money's just a part of what you got to do. Like, it's just part of your path.
I have correct opinions. I have a correct belief system. I interface with the world fairly well, and it's going to serve me well. But so do you guys. So it's because I'm around good people. What else? What else you got for me? All right, you want me to just go off? You want me to just go off?
All right, I just bumped the camera. Talk about the mute. Fuck. Talk about the your role, how as it's shifted, and how you see yourself in our music pursuit. Because you've worn a lot of fucking hats.
Yeah.
You've built this studio. You've always been a lot more of like the on the boards guy, but you used to fucking rap. So like with where you're at right now, I mean, you know, you're still involved. I'm just curious to hear your opinion of that.
I'm the maestro, all right? I'm the guy I'm the puppet master with all the fucking strings. And what I mean is, when I was a kid, I was dead set on understanding, like, I don't know what I want to do with my life, but I want to just figure out how this shit works, how anything works. I remember being 5 years old, I'm listening to jazz music in the airport, and I'm asking my parents, what's that instrument? It was like a saxophone. It was like a muted trumpet. I'm like, what is that? They're like, I don't know. And I'm like, how do you not know? Like, you're an adult. You're in the world. Like, how do you not know how music works? You listen to music all the time. So just like with money, how could you go your whole fucking adult life and have a bad relationship with money? Like, didn't you realize that was something you should figure out? And it's not that you need to even be born knowing, but you could just investigate. So I like reverse engineering things. I like understanding things, and definitely has a lot to do with just who I am, what I'm here to do anyway. So my role in music, I'm the mix engineer. I'm the recording engineer. I've been a recording artist. I can do it all. I'm multifaceted. My goal is to just stay consistent with what I do. So I enjoy knowing the process top to bottom, like a Mike Dean would. So Mike Dean could get there. He's worked with Kanye, Travis Scott. He's an incredible mix engineer, but he knows how to record music. He knows how to write music. He knows how to coach artists into giving good performances. And then he knows the thousands of fucking pieces of tech that it takes all the way from recording music to writing it and composing it and then mixing it, working the spaceship console. So I like being the guy that knows the ins and outs of the entire process top to bottom so that you can effortlessly create a seamless product. So I like being the guy on the boards.
What's your goal with music? Like, what would you, like, when we get this stuff popping, like, what's your goal as far as, I guess, studio setup? Like, what do you want to have? What do you want us to look like in a couple of years?
I'm going to have the fucking spaceship I'm going to have what's the Star Trek ship called? I don't even know. I never watched it, but whatever that ship's called. The Enterprise. Yeah. I'm going to have the Enterprise. I like Drake and 40's studio a lot. I like 40's obsession. Drake's engineer with audio gear and whatever. I actually decided recently, I've been making content and I've been kind of scrapping it for social media and for like our marketing agency. And I have some good YouTube videos I put out, but the short form stuff I'm thinking of is not good. I decided I'm going to make content about audio because, people need to talk about what they're good at. And it doesn't have anything to do with the way I'm going to get clients, but I could sound like an autistic savant if I talk about music and acoustic science and how it works. And then I went on YouTube and I looked at like all the mix tutorials and I'm like, these guys are fucking dorks. And they're giving good information, but it's very boring and it's very difficult to watch and listen to them. They're talking like this and you have to go here and the total harmonic distortion minus 24 decibels is so they're putting people to sleep. And I know that because I watched these tutorials, 10,000 hours of them as I was learning this and teaching myself. So I realized I would be the most compelling person, maybe not the most knowledgeable, but that doesn't matter because I can communicate in simple terms. I'm not writing a textbook on philosophy of acoustic science. I would be teaching people practical ways on how to get fucking rap music to sound not retarded.
Like Rick Rubin.
Yeah, all right. You send me off into a tangent on Rick Rubin.
Peter, we're coming up on 15 minutes here.
That's a long time.
Peter has one more question.
Yeah, let's be concise with this, Adam.
Okay.
You're wearing white pants today.
Yeah.
Can you explain that choice, and can you explain just your brief thoughts on fashion and appearance in general?
Yeah, I'm a 5 life path, so it's my duty on earth to actually pay attention to my fashion, even though I'm a dude, and to like look good. One of the only energies that's not gay. So what I do, I used to be into it, then I just let it go, and I just prioritize other things. But I think it's important for me to like dress very well and to look very good, and I'm very handsome. But I'm going to end with this. There's a famous quote, I believe it was from Mark Twain. I saw it on Twitter this week. He said in a letter, he said, "I apologize for the lengthy response. I did not have time to write a shorter one. Brevity is the most important fucking skill you could learn on planet Earth. It was the most important skill I learned in sales, and an autistic person taught me that. Shout out to my buddy Ryan Wilson. He told me I used to he told me I used to ramble too much. And he was right. Because I didn't know what I was talking about. So I wasn't brief. Now I could go on for 15, 20 minutes. I could go on for another 15 or 20, frankly, another 40. There's a time and a place for that. And this is an acceptable medium. Brevity is a fucking skill. And especially in sales or whatever point you're going to make, be brief. So to answer your question, I'm supposed to look this good. So that's it.
You look great.
You look great, kid.
You look great.
All right. I think that'll do it.
All right, guys.
All right. We'll talk to you
That's
next
it.
week.